Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you the new Spider 25 team that I have built because I recently summoned Sishia. You can see here cranking out the 7 million damage with my 2 cold hearts, combining for about 3 million. And we've got a 20-something second run here with a 100% win rate on Spider 25. So I'll walk you through the thought process, and I'll show you the masteries and the builds and what's going through my head as we put this together. We've also got a Kymar 10X going on at the time of me recording this. So having just summoned Sishia and a big 10X event for Kymar, I thought now is as good a time as any to show you my new Sishia Kymar double cold heart team that is designed to tackle Spider 25. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, we'll show you the run in action. We'll talk about the AI and some of that stuff. So the general gist behind the team is going to be Sishia placing HP burns and detonating HP burns. There's lots of different ways to do this type of team. There's ways to do it faster. There's ways to do it in like 15 seconds, but a little bit hard to get that to be a 100% win rate. There's builds with multiple Sishias. There's things with Crypt King Grawl, Mordecai, Ignatius. So many different ways that you can do this. And at some point, maybe I should do a video on all of the different options after I kind of show my team and how it's performing, because there is many different ways to kind of go about this. But the general sentiment and gist of it is you've got Sishia to place the HP burns and detonate them. You've got Ashok to freeze the spiders so that they are not doing all of their animations that take forever, and it makes the run faster. It also makes the cold hearts survive so that both the cold hearts can get their 4 heart seekers off into the spider. They're going to both do a heart seeker, and then after that, the Kymar is going to reset everybody, so the cold hearts are going to get 2 more heart seekers off. The Sishia can get another detonate off, and we can blow up the spider in about 20 to 40 seconds, depending on a little bit of RNG, because Sishia does have some RNG in whether she gets an extra turn or not, because of how her A3 Firestorm right works. You can see at the end of it, it says grants an extra turn if the HP burn debuff is placed on all enemies. We've got a lot of enemies in this scenario because you got the spider and all the spiderlings. So you can see that is going to be a 75% chance that you could book to 100 of placing an HP burn on all enemies for 3 turns. But if it doesn't place it on the spider and all the spider wings, she's not going to get that extra turn to go ahead and detonate super fast before the Kymar resets. So it can actually make the run take somewhere between like 22 and 42 seconds, depending on some of the RNG here you get on your procs. But if it's 100% win rate and it's under a minute, I mean, you're still blasting through energy and grinding super efficiently. So let's go ahead and fire it up, and we'll see what it looks like. It'll either take anywhere. I've seen it take 23 seconds. I've seen it take 31. I've seen it take 42. Just kind of depends on some of the things going on here. So there we go. We need to see if the HP burn goes on everybody, and it did, so she got the extra turn. So there, she actually did get all of the spider wings under the HP burn, granted an extra turn, went ahead and detonated. So this will be one of the faster type runs, and there you see it at 22 seconds. As long as she places the HP burn and grants herself that extra turn, boom, we can blow up the run super fast. Let me see if I can show you one where things don't go right here, where she doesn't place all of the HP burns and she doesn't grant an extra turn, and maybe it'll take a little bit longer here. Okay, so Heart Seeker, and then the freezes, and then after this, the Moment of Truth. Place all those HP burns, and she actually was successful again. So okay, I mean, it's performing well. So and this one may not be quite as fast, but yeah, it looks like it's gonna be about the same time. Yeah, as long as she gets it, it's gonna pop off and go crazy. So I'm gonna skip ahead and see if we can get one where she doesn't. Nope, did it again. It's working great again. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, here we go. Now, Sishia, I know you're a beast, but I want you to just fail for once in your life, okay? Don't place it on all of them. Oh my goodness, she's never gonna fail. Okay, well, let's go ahead and try this again. And look at that one. That one's 19 seconds. So, okay, Sishia's popping off here, but let me go to the editing room, and we're gonna get to a point where she doesn't. Okay, will this be the run that I'm using as an example? No. Okay, will this be the one that I'm using as an example? And there it is. She did not get them all placed and did not grant herself an extra turn. So, okay, that took forever. It took me like probably 15 to 20 tries to get this to work out, where Sishia didn't beast it up and place them all and grant herself an extra turn. So now you see they're not able to do it in that like 19 to 22 seconds. And then you end up getting a lot more animations going on, a lot more turns taking place, and the spider sitting there at low HP and having to kind of grind it down. And it ends up taking a little bit longer. But it's not very likely to happen, but it will happen. And when it does, it's going to be closer to 40 seconds. I wanted to show you kind of both examples of how my team can function, but 90% of the time it's the fast version. And then every now and then you'll get the slow version thrown in there where it takes a little bit longer. So now I want to talk about the rotation and how the abilities are supposed to function. Now, Kymar is going to be going after everybody to go ahead and reset everything, but I've only got one Kymar, and I want him to be good in the arena. So I want his speed to be very high, and there's also some Doom Tower scenarios where I want him going first and doing certain things and building special teams around him being built pretty well. But you can build a slower version of him to go after everybody. But if you have your Kymar built fast, you would want to have his AI open up with a different ability like the A1, so that obviously he's not resetting anybody. I wish they would fix his AI so that he wouldn't reset everybody if he goes first and there's nobody to reset. But alas, you're going to have to either set up a special team if he's fast, or build your Kymar to go after everybody. Mine's built fast, so he ends up being told in the custom AI to spam his A1. I've also got the Cold Heart that I locked out her A2, and I told her to always prioritize the Heart Seeker because sometimes the Spider AI can get messed up. If she's got a bunch of different Spiderlings, she'll want to do her AoE, but you want her slamming the Heart Seeker into the Spider. Now, it doesn't matter when the Cold Hearts go. They can go first, last, whatever, but you do want them to obviously be faster than the Kymar so that their Heart Seekers are getting reset as well. It doesn't matter if Ashok goes first or second compared to the Sishio or the Burner or whatever. You just want him to get those placed before the Spiderlings take their turn. As long as you get the HP burn and the freezes down, that's all that matters. So now if Sishio is being used as your HP burner, right here you can see that we're going to be placing it on all enemies, and then we're going to grant an extra turn if it happens on everybody. So we do that, and she did place it on everybody, so she gets the extra turn. You can see all the Spiderlings and the Spider. Everybody's got an HP burn, which means that it gets an extra turn, and then that's when we would want her to be detonating. And now is when our Kymar is going to reset everything because everybody's taking their turn. We've got our HP burns, we've got our freezes, our Cold Hearts did their Heart Seeker. Now we reset. And then it doesn't really matter. You're just going to kind of come through and do the same thing again. You've got your Cold Hearts that are going to slam Heart Seeker. You're going to want Sishia to go ahead and detonate again. Boom. And then you're going to get another Heart Seeker to finish the job here from your Cold Heart. And if I were on full auto and letting it kind of run smoothly, you saw the examples of when it takes like 19 to 22 seconds. So if you pull up the team setup page, you'll see an example of what mine would look like based on the circumstance that I just showed you. We've got Sishia being told to open up with Firestorm right, which is the ability that's going to place the HP burns. But then I want that locked out. So we're going to open it and then just kind of default it. But I want her to do the flame eruption. That's why I'm going to tell her to make this her first choice. So I'll have her open with the A3, but after that, her first choice is going to be to detonate because we want to slam those HP burns and do the heavy damage to the Spider. Then for Prince Kymar, his can get a little bit wonky. We're going to lock out the A2 because he loves to do this AoE against all those Spiderlings. Lock that out. And then we want the first choice to be his Seal of Magic. But since I've got mine built fast, I have to tell him to open up with the A1. If you didn't do that, if you've got your Kymar built like 100 speed, 110, whatever, to go after everybody and reset, well, you would want him to go, you'd want him built faster than that to go before the Spiderlings. But you get the point. If you've got him built slower than your team, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But if you've got a fast Kymar, tell him to make the Seal of Magic his first choice, but have him open with your A1 or something. Let me move myself over so you can see who I'm on here. So for Cold Heart, you're going to want her to always open up and prioritize the Heart Seeker. Pretty simple there. For Ashok, we're going to want him to place the ability that freezes. So if you're using somebody like Crypt King Grawl, you want them to open up with their freeze ability because that's what's going to combine it and make the animations and everything kind of work a lot smoother with the build. The other Cold Heart, obviously the same, going to be prioritizing the Heart Seeker and not doing the A2. So then for the builds and the gearing and the masteries and that type of stuff, it's actually pretty simple. You can actually do pretty budget versions of this. But the thing is, if you want to be able to use like your Sishia or some of these champions in other areas of the game, you kind of have to prioritize that. Like I said, I prioritize my Kaimar to be usable in those tag team arena teams and in the Doom Tower. So I've got him built not for the spider team, and then I work around it via the custom AI. So thank goodness they added that. That was definitely a welcomed thing to the game and made the game a lot better. So your Sishia can be kind of bare bones. You just have to go before the spiders, get things reset, go again before the spiders, and you can kind of do it on a budget version without like booking or getting any crazy masteries or anything, because your main utility is going to come from getting the burns down and then detonating them. But obviously, it's going to perform better with books because you're going to have a higher likelihood. You're getting buff and debuff chance. You're getting a higher likelihood of getting the extra turn. And then on this one, you're going to do a little bit more damage. But I believe that only affects the AoE attack. It's not actually affecting the detonation. So really, if you're going the super budget version, you would probably just want to get the buff chances booked here on the A3 in terms of the spider team context for Sishia. The Masteries for Sishia, again, I was kind of prioritizing Hydra to make her usable there, so you don't have to worry about that in the context of this run. Kaimar, I have him built to be good in the arena. That's why he's in the immunity set, so obviously this is not a build that would be spider-centric. And then for Ashok, I had him in Affinity Breaker because I wanted to be able to use him in Spider 24 as well. Spider 24 is Spirit Affinity, and both 24 and 25 can be pretty good depending on what you're looking for. And a lot of people actually argue that Spider 24 is better to grind because you're going to get some better gear over the long haul in terms of quantity. You'll get better quality in terms of 6-star legendaries from level 25. But anyway, that's a discussion for a different video. The point is, I've got him in Affinity Breaker because I wanted the option to be able to use him in 24 or 25. If you're just going to be using him in level 25, you don't have to worry about Affinity Breaker, obviously. And then it's just about getting the speeds matched up to make him fit within the build. And there's really an endless amount of customization and options you could go for on the gear for him. Then lastly, for the cold arts, I've actually got them built to be good in the Fire Knight. That's why I've got my favorite cold art, the one with the heart symbol. I've got her built in a reflex set because it's good to cycle through as fast as possible and slam those heart seekers into the Fire Knight when I'm doing those runs. But you don't have to do that, and obviously you don't need amazing crit damage either, because after stage 20 you're gonna cap out super fast. You only need like 120 crit damage or something on cold heart, and she's going to hit for like the 780,000, whatever it is on the spider. She'll get capped out of that 10% of the max HP, and that's the hardest you can hit. So whether you've got 120 crit damage or 400 crit damage, it's not really going to matter. Cold Heart's just going to cap out because of her enemy max HP scaling being capped by the levels 21 through 25. So that is the team and the thought process behind it. And like I said, I'm gonna probably try to maybe get a video out there at some point on all of the different options and lay it out for you on things that you can replace, like using Crypt King Grawl instead of Ashok, or using Mordecai version to be the burner, using Ignatius, doing a slow burn or doing a fast detonation burn. All sorts of different ways that you can do this, but I just wanted to throw this video out there as an example of the team that I am using and how and why it functions how it does. So hopefully you found this helpful, and as always, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.